Welcome to Are You Quizzing Me? I am Vineet Nair with my co-host Aditya Kashyap. This is a quizzing trivia podcast show. Join us as we dive deep into history, science, pop culture, and so much more. Let's get quizzing. Okay, and now for the first question of this podcast, I invite Aditya to ask the first question. Let's go in alphabetical order. So, Aditya, let's have the first question.
Okay, so the first question I have for today is because we're starting off our podcast, let me ask you something which is related to that. There was a podcasting company called Audio. There was an undergraduate student from New York University at that point who was working in that company. And there was a day-long brainstorming session that they held. They came up with multiple ideas, one of which this particular undergrad student came up with. And therein lay the origins of a today very famous company. What company am I talking about?
Okay, let me be very frank up front. I have absolutely no clue where this is going. But okay, let me just encapsulate the question again. Let me see if I can just dig something out of it. So we're talking about something that started off from a brainstorming session for a podcast.
That's right.
Okay.
A podcasting company. It was a podcasting company.
And what was the podcasting company called?
Audio. O-D-E-O.
Audio. Okay. Yeah. So a podcasting company called Audio, and something came out of their brainstorming session. I'm going to need a clue here.
Okay, so they wanted to basically have an SMS service for a small group of people. And the name of this service, today slightly modified, was inspired by the 5-letter codes, which were the SMS codes used in the US at that time. They were called SMS short codes. So these short codes were 5 letters long. So the name of the company at that point was also 5 letters long.
Okay. Is this for Instagram? No, right?
Is it? It's not Instagram. No,
it's not Instagram. It doesn't make sense for Instagram. WhatsApp? Because I'm looking at SMS and messaging here, so...
No, you're close, but
not,
it's not.
No, it's not. Okay. No clue, dude. This is... I have no idea where I'm going with this.
Okay, no. So the other inspiration, so one of them was the SMS short codes, which are 5-letter long.
Okay.
And the other inspiration was also the company Flickr. So it sounded kind of like Flickr. So these two things combined named the company as we know it today.
Flickr was an image hosting service, right?
Yeah, no, but name of the company sounded similar to Flickr.
To this. Okay. Okay. No.
There aren't too many huge companies that sound in today's tech industry that sound similar to Flickr. So
yeah, I am just trying to combine what you told me, something for a messaging service and something that sounds similar to Flickr. No clue, dude. I give up on this. You'll just have to tell me what this is. Put me out of my misery.
I have made this very, very challenging, especially because if I gave the more leading hints, it would become too easy. The name is Twitter. So Twitter started off with SMS short codes being 5-letter long, so they called it TWTTR. Which is why the first ever tweet sent by Jack Dorsey said, "Just setting up my Twitter, TWTTR." So they named it Twitter, like TWTTR, and which is inspired by Flickr and the American short codes, which are 5 characters long. And it came from a podcasting company. So, you and I might tomorrow have a multi-billion-dollar tech startup which Elon Musk will buy from us, I guess.
Yeah, obviously. Like, that's the logical conclusion to all this.
That is how these things go, yeah. Yeah, that's how Twitter came to be.
My turn. Right. So we're just, this is the start of the new year, and the World Cup wasn't too far long right? Which was last month. So we're talking about the 2022 World Cup, right? Now, as you know, the final of the World Cup involved a very memorable, penalty shootout.
Mhm.
In 2014, journalist Michael Moran, he penned an article, and the title of the article was "Forget Penalties. Here are 5 better ways to decide who wins the World Cup."
Okay.
This was an article for the Guardian newspaper.
Okay.
Now, he famously and very humorously suggested better ways than penalty shootouts to decide the winners in World Cup matches.
Okay.
Number 5 was a gender neutral tag team challenge. Okay. Number
Mhm.
4 was swimming gala. Number 3 was a bake off. Number 2 was a dance off.
Okay.
What was number 1? Can you guess?
So obviously, this journal, and it's for the Guardian, not for the Onion or.
No. It's an actual newspaper. There's an actual article. You can go read it. It's available online, free to read.
Somebody was really upset at penalty shootouts. Huh? Okay. Clearly getting more and more absurd with each line. I'm gonna make a wild guess. You said the last one was a dance off or a bake off.
Yeah, so he basically number 3 was a bake off, number 2 was a dance off. So what was number 1?
Number 1, I'm gonna say is who can do more push-ups? I don't know. I have no idea.
Good try. Obviously, but let's just say that's not what it was. Not even close.
Okay. Then I definitely need more a hint.
Okay, this is a clue which will practically give it away, but still.
Okay.
There is a reason I made this the very first question in our podcast.
Okay. A trivia challenge. Are they going to have a trivia challenge?
I'll give it to you. It was a GK quiz.
GK quiz. Oh boy.
So his logic was this, and I'm quoting him in the article. Premier League footballers are among the most admired people in Britain. Young boys especially regard the top players as role models. But what if we introduced a pub quiz round to tide games? Imagine what would that do for scholarship nationwide. Imagine the hours that are currently squandered on kippy uppies being spent watching QI. Imagine too the sound of a packed stadium urging their team to remember the title of the Dream of Gerontius.
But if you have seen any episode of Kaun Banega Crorepati, the audience is told to be very quiet.
Yeah,
that is counterproductive. You can't ask 20,000 fans to be very quiet and not shout out there.
And let's be honest, the Premier League does not have the most well-behaved fans.
They are not known for their decorum.
Yeah. Okay. This was a piece of trivia that I kind of, it was a nugget I kept a long time ago. I was waiting for an occasion to pull it out because, GK quiz to decide. Just imagine if Argentina played France in a trivia challenge. Who would win? I don't want to speculate. It will piss off too many people. Okay. So, Aditya, your question.
Wonderful. Okay. So my question is this, I'm going to start off with keeping it as usual, a bit vague. And as we go along, let's see how many more hints we need before you crack it. Okay. So this one is a food item that came about as a brainchild of the scions of 2 different companies who were in the same industry. And these 2 sons wanted to break away from their father's legacy. So they combined their efforts and came up with this particular food item.
A food item invented? Was it invented or is it they just started producing it or something like that? I know.
Well, in food, it's usually tough to say who invented it. I think they were inspired by existing items. And
let me just put this out there. Is it something to do with chocolate? For some reason, my head went to chocolate.
I feel like you won't even need the hints. Yeah, it is to do with chocolate.
No. My problem here is now it's just that my mind went to chocolate, but I'm kind of confused. Is it Hershey's and Cadbury's got together and did something?
Hershey's and Cadbury's. One of them is correct. The other one is not. Now, the thing is, I'll give you another hint because you're very, very close, but let's make this a bit more interesting.
Okay.
Both their names were combined quite literally to give the name for this particular food item as we know it today.
Names were combined.
Or rather, their initials.
The initials. Okay. It's a food item. Chocolate-based food item. Oreo? No.
Oh, that's a good guess, but no, not Oreo.
No. Because when you said initials, I was like thinking, okay, what could be initials? Okay, no. Okay. Is it something I know? I mean, like I would know this, right? I mean, like obviously this.
Oh yeah, 100%. We all know it.
So, yeah. So then this will definitely make me look like a fool. So I cannot for the life of me think of initials of two people.
This particular item was first sold. The first big customer was the U.S. Army in World War II.
Hershey's Kisses? No, wait. No, Hershey. Wait.
So close. You're almost there.
I remember reading something about Hershey's. No, that was Coca-Cola setting up a plant in Africa. No, wait, Hershey's also sent their the chocolates or something. No, I'm just going all over the place.
No, you're very close. I'll tell you the names of the people actually. So Bruce Murray, he is the son of William Murray, who was Hershey's president. And the other person is Forrest Mars Sr., who was the son of Frank Mars.
The Mars bar.
Yeah, so Forrest Mars Sr. and Bruce Murray came together to make this new chocolate.
Forrest Mars and Bruce Murray.
Yeah.
I'm getting something wait. Initials you said, no? Okay, I am blanking here.
Oh, you're gonna.
I'm gonna kill myself when I hear this. Am I? No,
you're
God.
Almost there. And well, the other way we know it, or at least I felt like I wanted to knock myself on the head, was when I realized it is also the inspiration behind famous rapper's name, rap artist's name.
Okay, now I'm going completely nuts. Bruce Murray and Forrest Mars. My mind is stuck on Mars bar. Okay, Bruce Murray, Forrest Mars. I think somebody listening to this will be just screaming at the thing, saying that you idiot, you can't get it. No, man, I'm sorry. It's
the Mars and the Murray that combine together.
M&M's. Oh my God. Brilliant question, but I am officially an idiot here.
It is one of those questions which you always knew, but you just was right there.
Hershey's and Mars had a baby, and those were M&M's.
Those are M&M's. I was so blown away, and this was both their sons trying to establish their own legacy away from their fathers.
Wow! Just wow! Brilliant question, dude. Brilliant question. Very well done.
Also, obviously, the rap artist is Eminem. Marshall Mathers.
Yeah, Marshall Mathers. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, my next question is going to sound so stupid.
Oh no!
But let me just say. Okay, this is a fairly simple question. In the sense, like, if you know it, you know it. If not, it might be something a little new to you. But let's just see. Okay. So, X and Y. Okay. There are two names we are talking here. X and Y are the names of the policeman and the cab driver in the 1946 film It's a Wonderful Life. Okay. However, most people know the names of X and Y as the names of two famous protagonists of a much-loved TV show. In fact, when the pilot was first screen tested with audiences in 1969, they were the only protagonists in what would later become an ensemble show. Okay? In recent years, the sexual preferences of X and Y have become a topic of great discussion. Identify X and Y.
Okay. So X and Y in the movie It's a Wonderful Life were the cab driver and the policeman.
Yes, the names were of the policeman and the cab driver.
Got it. X and Y in 1969 in the pilot, when the pilot was first tried out.
Of a very beloved TV show. They were the
Beloved TV show.
protagonists. They were the main characters. But then that show later became an ensemble show.
Okay. So I have no clue right now. I'm going to ask for a hint. Is it an animated show by any chance?
It's not an animated show.
Okay.
It isn't as popular. It's got a huge pop culture and popular culture impact, but not as popular in India. Like recently, people have been exposed to it in through all these channels and the internet and YouTube and all. But if you were somebody who grew up in the West or even in the Middle East, this would have been a staple.
Interesting. You said Middle East and the West.
Yeah, because I'm talking from personal experience here.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just exclusive to Dubai and the US.
No, nothing bad. That was just a kind of random piece of
you
personal...
saw it when you were growing up in the Middle East and possibly in the US. Okay, no, I am not sure. If it's not an animated one, I don't think I have any clue, so I'll need more hints.
Okay. So I would tell you to focus on 2 points. One is the fact that their sexual preferences have become a big talking point throughout the world. Right. We are talking about a show from 1969.
Is it the 2 characters whose sexual preference has become? Because I know, but again, I'm thinking animated because I'm thinking Scooby-Doo. Because Velma's sexual
the thing is, if I say one word, it immediately becomes obvious. So I'm trying to skirt around that word. Let's just say it's a children's show, but it's not animated.
Children's show, not animated. And their sexual preference came into limelight. Oh boy. I'm only thinking of animated characters, a lot of Disney characters. And this show came on obviously after 1969. Can I ask which year did the show come out finally? When was it aired?
Yeah, it was aired in the 60s and the 70s, and it's been continuously aired since then.
It's been continuously aired since then and not an animated show?
I still think there are new episodes coming out with a lot more new characters and...
is it Sesame Street?
Yes, it is Sesame Street. So who are we talking about?
Sesame Street. Oh boy. Who are the main characters of Sesame Street? I'm going to kill myself. Again, but in my defense, I did not grow up in the Middle East or the US. So, Sesame Street, Big Bird, but Big Bird would not be the name of...
We're talking about 2 characters whose sexual preferences have come into question. As in, people think they are gay because they live together and they don't seem to have any other...
Oh, God. I just know Sesame Street has that count. And Elmo.
Yeah, Elmo, the Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster. Oh boy, I'm so blanking out on the character names. No,
okay, I'll give it to you. Basically, you did get Sesame Street, which was I had built my question around that, so that is it.
Okay,
it's Bert and Ernie.
Bert and Ernie. Okay. Wow. Okay, Bert and Ernie. I did not know that their sexuality had come into limelight recently.
So basically, the thing is, Bert and Ernie, they were virtually the only Muppets. So that's the term I wanted to avoid. It's not an animated show; it's a Muppet show. So they were the only Muppets to appear in the pilot episode, which was screen tested to a number of families in July 1969.
Okay.
Their brief appearance was the only part of that pilot that tested well. So it was decided that not only should Muppet characters be the stars of the show, but also interact with the human characters, something which was not done in the pilot. Now, the thing is, Bert and Ernie live together in an apartment located in the basement of 123 Sesame Street. Despite sleeping in separate beds, they share the same bedroom, which has led to some speculation that they are a representation of a gay couple.
I see. Interesting. Fascinating. Wow.
But you got Sesame Street, which was...
Now that you say Bert and Ernie, yes, I'm recalling that there were conversations on Twitter, at least, as far as I remember, about their sexuality. Yes, you're right. Wow, okay. Cool. But did you watch a lot of Bert and Ernie growing up?
Yeah, actually, Sesame Street was a kind of staple when I was growing up.
I see.
We used to watch, the shows that used to come up on, Baran TV channel 55, and in the evenings they would have children's shows, and Sesame Street was one of those shows. So I remember seeing it as a kid, and it's always stuck with me. My son now started watching it on YouTube. He's only 2,
Interesting.
so yeah, so he watches all these kind of shows, and in between
Are the original episodes all available on YouTube?
no, they're probably new, and there are so many new characters which I've never seen before. So I'm guessing that's all new.
Right. The giveaway was that it's not an animated show, but it's been continuously running. So I mean, there
Yeah,
aren't many
that was kind of okay. No, but there's no way you can structure this question without giving away that point. The moment you say puppet or muppet or it's a children's show but not animated, there aren't that many candidates.
Fascinating. Okay. Great. Great question. Since you're talking entertainment, okay, so my next question fits into that broader category.
Okay.
In a very famous thriller, one of the most iconic dialogues that the lead detective says towards the climax of the movie, was answered roughly 16 years later in a whole other film, completely unrelated. So this is a thriller film from 1995 in which the lead detective asks a very iconic question towards the very end of the movie, almost at the end of the movie. And that question was answered 16 years later in another film, which, interestingly, was released in 2011 but became very popular in 2020.
Okay. So let me just break this down.
So we're talking about two different films.
Two different films. They're not connected, are they? Are they sequels?
They're not connected. No, they're not a sequel. They're not. As far as I know, I don't think they're even written by the same person or by the same production company.
Okay.
So they have nothing in common in terms of universe or storyline or anything. But in a very, very interesting way, that question was answered 16 years later.
16 years later. So we're talking about a thriller, right? In 1995.
The 1995 was a mystery thriller.
So many that released in those in the 90s.
Yeah, 90s was a great year for thrillers.
Any clues? Give me an actor or something.
Oh boy, let me think of a clue that will help you around this. It was okay. A clue for this would be that the antagonist in this film has recently lost favor in public, especially during the Me Too era, because of the Me Too era.
Is this What's in the Box?
It is What's in the Box.
This is 7. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Wait, what is in the box? I mean, like, when did it get answered? I didn't know that. So when did it get answered?
So what's in the box? What was in the box? If it is for spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't.
Yeah, it was Gwyneth Paltrow's head. It was Brad Pitt's.
What movie released in 2011 that became very popular in 2020 for obvious reasons because of the pandemic? It became very popular in 2020.
Okay, a 2011 movie that answered the question, "What's in the box?" I don't know. I mean, like.
Okay, so in 2020, the movie obviously was related to the pandemic. It was called Contagion.
Yes. I've seen Contagion.
Which starred Gwyneth Paltrow. As patient zero, I believe.
Yeah.
Of that little outbreak. And when they're doing the autopsy, they use the fake head that was made for 7, but they never used it in that movie. They finally used it for Contagion when they were doing the autopsy scene.
I like that.
Gwyneth Paltrow's head was finally used 16 years later. Yeah. Very, very glad that they held on to it, I guess.
Nice. Yeah. No, it's very, because I've always felt that the best part of 7 was the fact that the dread, because we know what's in the box. Yeah, we at least suspect what's in the box. But by not exactly showing it, it ratchets the tension up like a huge. Oh, that was an amazing movie. Too dark. I mean, like, it's too dark to show. I think I was probably too young to see it. But in those days, we got away with a lot of things.
That's true. No, one of the things that really irks me is the fact that these fantastic actors, Kevin Spacey, a great actor, was unfortunately doing these very terrible things in his personal life.
Yeah, it's
And
a thing. Even with Bill Cosby,
right,
he was. I remember watching the Cosby Show when I was a kid, and he was this
right,
kind of caricaturish, comedian that was always in the back, a very genial character. But he was to be honest, but he was a monster. He was a
right, of
monster
course, of
in
course.
his private life. So
Hmm.
it's no, but again, it's the whole debate which I don't want to get into is whether we should allow a person's private life to influence his
Right,
art or
right.
his profession. It's
Does
again
the
a
art
debate
stand
I don't want
independent
to
of the
get into.
artist?
This is not the place to do that. Yeah.
Yes, neither of us
Yes.
are experts in that, but yes, it is.
Exactly.
It is, as you said, it is a great film. I have loved that film always. All
Okay.
right, your question.
Okay. 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 So this is something I came to know really recently. So Embassy Row, okay, is the informal name for a section of Northwest Washington, D.C.
Okay.
It has a high concentration of embassies, diplomatic missions, and diplomatic residences. Okay.
Okay.
Most of these embassies have their national flags flying in front of the buildings.
Mhm.
Others have statues in front of them. Right? With me so far.
Okay.
One of these embassies has a statue of the Hindu goddess Saraswati installed in front of it.
Okay.
Simple question, which embassy?
Statue of Saraswati.
Yes, the Hindu goddess Saraswati. Quite a beautiful statue, I should also add.
Okay, so this is in Washington D.C., right? You mentioned.
Yes, this is in Washington, D.C.
What's the name of the street you said?
Embassy Row. They call it Embassy Row because
Okay.
there are a
Okay.
lot of embassies and diplomatic missions.
Hmm. So, which embassy has the statue
The
goddess
goddess
Saraswati in front of
Saraswati
it?
as a statue installed in front of it.
Hmm. So I'm not gonna say India. I'm gonna say Nepal. Also is probably not the right answer.
Nepal is a very logical choice because,
I'm
Hindu
just thinking
nation.
Hindu majority nations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the only Hindu majority nation.
Oh boy. I Goddess Saraswati.
Only other majority nation, but yeah.
Goddess Saraswati. Anything to do with knowledge? Okay, I am blanking, but I'm just going to venture a guess. By any chance, is it Indonesia?
That is a very, very good guess and very correct. It is the Indonesian embassy.
Oh no way! It's Indonesia.
It is. It's a beautiful
Okay.
sculpture in the Balinese style, right? It was installed
Yeah,
in
that's why I was going to
2013.
say it. Right.
It's 16 feet tall. It's a gold and
Okay.
white statue depicting the Hindu goddess Saraswati standing on a lotus with 3 young students at her feet. One of those
Interesting.
students, can you guess in whose image or whose likeness one of those students was sculpted?
No, I have no idea.
It was so one of the 3 students. One of the students at her feet was sculpted in the likeness of Barack Obama
Oh wow. Okay.
because he went to grade school in Indonesia.
He went to grade school in Indonesia. Wow, I had no idea. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
he's lived all over the world. I think, no?
Yeah,
He's
that I know, but I
while
didn't know about the
yeah,
Indonesia. Okay.
yeah. So he went to grade school in Indonesia. So they installed this beautiful. You should look up the picture. It's a beautiful statue,
I
white and
shall.
gold, quite tall.
Okay.
But
Okay.
brilliant answer, by the way.
It was just because of Bali. It was just because of Bali that I was venturing that guess. There was no other reason, and well, got lucky there.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Your turn.
This has to be one of my absolute favorite trivia questions that I don't know when I acquired this piece of trivia as trivia
Okay.
goes, but
Okay.
I'm gonna ask it, and I think you'll know the answer, but I just gotta ask this question was absolute
Okay.
favorite.
No, today is not a good day for me, so even the most obvious ones will just go over my head. So come on, hit me.
Well, in any case, if you don't get it, you're gonna be very very happy when you hear the answer.
Okay.
So this particular gentleman is a sound editor, Walter Murch, and while editing a movie, he asked his assistant for the second dialogue on the second reel. by abbreviating that particular statement. Another person who was sitting in the room at that point of time heard that abbreviation, and while he was asleep, and he heard that abbreviation, and he woke up from his slumber and he said, "Oh, that sounds really cool." And he went back to sleep. Eventually, he used that as a name for an iconic character. Who am I talking about? Which character? Which person?
Okay. I'll tell you where my mind's going. My mind went to Star Wars.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And R2D2?
That is correct. R2D2 was named after that. Yeah.
No, I to be honest, I didn't know this trivia before. It's a beautiful piece of trivia,
okay.
but at the moment, for some reason, when you described it, the image that went into my head was George Lucas in the 70s. I have no clue why, but it just went there.
It was. I think
he just woke up from his sleep and decided it's a good name.
Yeah, so they were editing a film. I believe it was Graffiti, and
American Graffiti. George Lucas's first movie.
Yeah, exactly. American Graffiti, and Walter Marsh was the editor on that film, and he asked for the second dialogue on the second reel, and the way he asked his editor was R2D2. And George Lucas, who was just snoozing in the side, who wakes up and says, "Oh, that's a great name," and goes back to sleep. And that's how R2D2 was named. Reel 2, dialogue 2.
Brilliant. Okay, so I think I'll ask the next question, the last question for the day. I think for this episode. Right.
Let's do it.
So, I'm coming back all the way to India. This is the Bollywood question, right? So listen carefully. The reincarnation of Peter Proud. Okay. The reincarnation of Peter Proud was written by popular fiction author Max Ehrlich.
Okay.
It was published in 1974, and a subsequent movie was made in 1975. Okay. The director of this seminal Bollywood movie admitted that it was partly inspired by the 1975 film, but was mixed in with Indian beliefs.
Okay.
This classic Bollywood movie soundtrack by Lakshmikant Pyarelal is legendary, with practically every song becoming a cult classic.
Okay.
In a case of a snake eating its own tail, it's also speculated, that this Indian movie may have inspired the 1989 Robert Downey Jr. movie, Chances Are. Which Bollywood movie am I talking about?
So Peter Proud was the original character?
The reincarnation of Peter Proud. That's the title of the book and the subsequent movie.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking literally reincarnation. Okay, all right.
No.
Reincarnation
So
of
the
Peter Proud.
Peter Proud was the book. There was a movie based on that. And the director of this classic Bollywood movie admitted that he kind of borrowed from it, but by adding an Indian twist to the story. It became a huge hit. The soundtrack is by Lakshmikant Pyarelal. It's a mega kind of cult classic. And
it's a cult classic, so it wasn't like a actual blockbuster.
It was a blockbuster at that time. It's still now.
I see.
Okay. It's not something that it was cult then itself, right? It was an instant kind of hit. And in the case of these kind of things coming back around, there's a 1989 Robert Downey Jr. movie called Chances Are, where on the internet it's speculated that it may have been inspired by this Bollywood movie. So you have a Bollywood movie that was inspired by a Hollywood movie, and it's speculated that another Hollywood movie may have been inspired by this Bollywood version.
So I'm thinking, because it's a reincarnation of Peter Proud, I'm thinking it's what's that? Oh God, I'm going to hate myself because I only remember Om Shanti Om. What is that Rishi Kapoor movie that?
You are really going to kick yourself if you remember Om Shanti Om.
Oh God. He's standing and he's dancing. Oh God, I can't for my life.
There are listeners to this podcast who are like screaming.
Cars. It's called
Yes,
Cars.
yes. It is Cars.
Oh
It is
no.
Cars.
Oh, I would have killed myself.
Yeah, it is
Okay,
Cars.
great.
The
Hmm.
surprising thing is, most of the song names
Mm-hmm.
have later become movies. You'd be surprised how many.
Oh,
Darde
okay.
Dil. There was a movie called Darde Dil from the song in
Right.
1983 itself. Paisa Ye
Right.
Paisa in 1985. Main 16 Baras Ki in 1998. Ek Hasina
Okay.
Thi in 2004. Aashik
Right.
Banaya Aapne in 2005. And Om Shanti Om
Wow.
2007. All of them from song titles from the movie.
Fantastic. It inspired a Robert Downey film. No, I
Yeah, it's
had no idea.
speculated. There's no, concrete
Official.
proof. There's internet
Right.
speculation that it's been there. I just added that a little bit of that because there was this kind of thing, because Indians are always
Right.
looking for that thing where we've inspired somebody else. So I just thought I'd put that little factoid.
What was the name of Rishi Kapoor's character in Cars?
Oh, please don't ask me that. I am not your guy to go to for these kind of this thing. I don't remember his name.
Was it like Peter Proud? Was it an alliteration like that?
No, I don't think so.
No?
We'll have
Okay.
to sing
Okay.
again. We'll have to, because I don't remember I saw the movie a very long time ago. But I just love this piece of trivia because I've always kind of had this trivia of where movies come from, where names come from, how something inspired, because nothing is ever original. Everybody is inspired by something else.
That has been the official stance of Bollywood for many decades now.
Too controversial for me to comment on, but still, I am of the opinion. I think it was Quentin Tarantino. I don't remember who said that. Good artists create, great artists steal, or something like that.
Speaking of Tarantino loves Kante, and I did not know this.
Wait,
he
what?
thinks it's one of his favorite. It's one of the best unofficial. I'm not even sure it's an official
Adaptations.
remake.
No, it's not an official
Adaptations
remake.
of Reservoir Dogs. He loves
He
it.
likes Kante.
He loves Kante. He thinks Kante is a great film. He has apparently screened it at his home for people and stuff. He enjoyed it so much.
Wow.
So Tarantino would be
validation
one
from
person
Quentin
who-
Tarantino. That's
Yeah. And I remember I had watched Kante before I'd watched Reservoir Dogs. So for
And
me,
what
it
was your
like
experience watching Reservoir Dogs after watching the
to be
masala
fair,
version?
I really liked Kante when it came out. So it probably is the right order to watch it in, because if you maybe watch Reservoir Dogs,
It was
which
the
is probably
reverse
the
for me.
superior film. Which is probably
It
the
was
superior film
reverse for
than
me
watching
because
Kante.
I was expecting, the kind of quiet intensity that, dialogue heavy intensity that Reservoir Dogs has. And
Right.
Kante was just pure masala. So for me, it was kind of a shock going into it, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad movie. I wouldn't say it was a bad, but I wouldn't call it a great movie either.
Well, like you said, people are inspired. Yeah, and that's what creates art.
Yes. Nothing is new. Everything has happened before. No, that's what they say.
That
Wheel of
is
time.
true. Which makes me wonder what trivia we're gonna steal next time.
Oh yeah, I'm always looking
internet for-
to steal trivia from everybody. No, because
Constantly,
trivia is trivia. It just makes you think. That's the best part of this. No, it challenges your preconceptions. You have these preconceptions about things, and then you realize, not everything. I have a few questions. I obviously, because of time, we can't keep including as many questions as we want in every episode. But I have some questions that I've kept aside, which will kind of, make you think.
Okay, I guess
Everything
we have to
is
just
like-
wait for the second episode then.
Yes. Okay, so then that's it for today's episode. Thank you all for listening in. We hope you enjoyed the show and learned something new. If you liked what you heard, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a review on your favorite podcast platform. It helps us reach a wider audience, and as a new podcast, it allows more people to discover and enjoy the show. We would also love to hear from you, feedback, suggestions, and even trivia that we can steal. You can reach us on Instagram at Are You Quizzing Me? We appreciate your support and look forward to sharing more episodes with you in the future. Thanks again for tuning in and have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.